All right, call this meeting to order, y'all. Our invocation this afternoon is being given by Pastor Dieter Randolph. Hello, from Water and Stone Church in St. Petersburg. Old friend.
Today we give thanks for the opportunity to work together for the common good. Today we give thanks for all the different paths that have brought us to this place, and for all the different ideas that will combine to make our shared community better for all of us. In this place, as with all places, we get what we bring. May we bring openness and acceptance. May we bring courage and hope. May we bring truth and kindness. May we bring love. May we learn from each other. May we support each other. May we leave this place as friends, in peace and on purpose. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a number of presentations and proclamations.
Oh no. Has blue.
Okay, no cussing. Okay, for the first one, I'd like to make a special announcement. Today's actually a very special day, and I want to call upon Supervisor of Elections, Deborah Clark, to come on up here and help me.
Her team.
Aside from being, oh, it's not an election day, never mind. You got the week off.
Sure.
Well, no, I know we're working tomorrow. The reason this day is so special is because we want to honor you. What a surprise.
Thank you.
Yes. For over 42 years of dedicated service to this county, we want to celebrate your distinguished career in public service in Pinellas County. And distinguished it is. It all began in 1978 when you started in the office of Pinellas County Supervisor of Elections. I don't know who writes these things. Over the years, she worked very closely with Dottie Ruggles, and after her passing in 2000, became the actual Supervisor of Elections yourself, appointed by Jeb Bush. In November of that same year, the citizens of Pinellas County solidified the governor's decision by electing you to that post and have continued to do so right up until 4 years ago. Supervisor Clark, you have been able to embrace new technologies to improve the overall voting process, worked implementing 3 voting systems, oversaw 5 countywide redistricting projects, and was among the first 3 elections officials nationwide to achieve the status of Certified Elections and Registration Administrator, always keeping the voters of Pinellas County as your priority. Your recognition of today's physical and cybersecurity threat was paramount in your ability to strengthen the election system while protecting representative democracy. And that's certainly been my experience working with you.
Thank you.
Deb, you've grown right along with Pinellas County. This makes you sound old. Create huge impact on your citizens' right to vote.
I am old.
No, she's not that old. And have shared and touched so many with your kind nature, for which we are grateful. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners, that March 10th, 2020, be recognized as Supervisor Deborah Clark Day.
Wow. My own day? Ooh.
That was actually a proclamation. Would you like to say something?
Yes, please. I would never pass up an opportunity to talk about what an incredible group of, I'm very emotional about this, I'm sorry. Ooh. I can talk about leaving because I'm really ready to leave the job. My husband Richard is here, and we love spending time in North Carolina fly fishing. We have family in California, in Tampa, so we're back and forth. I'm ready to have more time to do all those things. And after 42 years of scheduling my life around elections, it's really time to move on. The hard part for me is leaving my team. We're a small group, and we've worked side by side for years. As they say, life is a messy business, but it's a real privilege to be along for the ride. And I've had these folks by my side for this ride for many, many years. I love them dearly, and I will do everything I can to keep in touch with them. I hope the voters in Pinellas County know, going forward, that they have the best, without a doubt, election administrators working for them here in Pinellas County. I'd like for them to come up, if I may. We'd like to get maybe a couple of group photos, and then we'll leave you alone. You all are my friends, too. We've worked side by side. I didn't mean to just leave my back to you. And we're not just business colleagues. It's not just a professional relationship. We have personal relationships. And those are very meaningful, and that's what I will miss the most. I am beyond proud of the work we do for the voters of Pinellas County and the way in which we do it based on our values. That's what I am most proud of. Come up, team. You can do this. You're not still sick, are you?
True love.
This guy was in the hospital last week. Wish I thought about that. Okay. Oh, and Dustin. I'll never forget you. Oh.
Deborah, do you want Richard in the photo? You want Richard in the photo?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know what's happening here. You gotta investigate that.
I'll give you 3 count. 1, 2, 3.
Come on, Tony.
1, 2, 3.
Boy, you never get that reaction.
No, at some point, it's not the camera.
That's right.
Oh, Deborah, open your eyes.
Go lightning. Okay, thank you.
You get what we did.
Madam Chair, may I make a comment before Deb takes off?
Deborah, don't go away. Come back.
Not that easy, Deb. You can stand there so I can look at you. I just, we talked a little bit about this at the BTS meeting, but I just want to repeat it since this is another televised meeting, that Pinellas County is in such a great place because of your work over the years. So many of us have had the opportunity to serve with you on the canvassing board and witness your professionalism, your commitment, your willingness to speak truth to power when you get some.
There's been some of that.
You've done that, and just your integrity. And regardless of party or any other issue, you've done the right thing for the voters of Pinellas County. I just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
It's very important to me.
And to follow on that, he made some wonderful comments, but truly you have been a truly dedicated public servant. And I think that says volumes about what you've done for our county and for the United States. I mean, you have been definitely a leader in making sure that voter education, voter sign-up, voter turnout, and that everyone has access to exercising their rights as an individual. And we're very, very grateful for the good shape that your office is in, all the great staff that you have, and may you Go forth and have wonderful journeys in
And
your
catch a
life.
big rainbow trout.
And Richard, too.
And Richard too, but smaller.
Not competitive at all.
So I just wanted to say to you, Deborah, that forever I will think about those nights that we spent with Charlie Connis and Dottie Ruggles, now you, in the old courthouse until 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, counting those paper ballots. And you were a real trooper then, and you are now a first-class act for our county and for our state, because you've been such a strong leader, especially standing up to power, as Commissioner Welch said. And I think those of us who have watched you work in a very, very nonpartisan way, in spite of the angst of some people, I want you to know that we all appreciate it dearly. So thank you for who you are and what the legacy that you are leaving behind. Big footsteps to follow in, Miss Julie. So you
Yes,
know.
for those of you who do not know, in my resignation letter to the governor, I strongly recommended that he appoint Julie Marcus, my chief deputy, to complete my term of office this year. And I am very hopeful that he will make that good decision. And thank you for your comments, Commissioner Long, and back at you. It's been a pleasure working alongside you, too.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would echo all those comments and agree with everything that everyone has said so far, and we thank you for years of service. And I say that knowing how hard over the years you've worked to move my polling place away from my house.
Commissioner has been my top priority every year.
So we wish you Godspeed.
Thank you.
Yeah, Deborah, thank you. I think of innovation, trust, kindness, courage, integrity, leadership, and all of that mixed in a little fun. When,
A little fun.
Yeah, when we get to the nights of work and all the days that we're convened as a canvassing board and getting exposed to all of your wonderful employees, we just have a great time. And then when it's time to work and it's time to produce, those professionals led by you are just remarkable. So I just wanted to say thank you
Thank
for
you.
everything, and I wish you all the best in your retirement.
Thank you so much.
both
We
of you.
actually had to force ourselves to laugh when you spilled coffee on the ballots.
Thank you. Thank you, Deborah, for bringing that, trying to squash that. God bless you.
Madam Chair.
If I may make a comment, the board, individually and as a whole, you are just light years ahead of every other county, in my opinion. And the support you have given me and my staff over the years, it does not go unnoticed. It is the only reason we have had the resources we had to move forward and make the decisions we thought were best for the voters. Not that you care about my opinion on this, but I really applaud you for your selection. 2 selections. One, the county attorney. Jewel is really top shelf. And it would be very difficult for us to get through an election without her and all of her staff members. She volunteers to work with us. I'm talking for days at a time. And your other decision to hire Barry Burton. I've gotten to know Barry, and I am so impressed with his ability, with his insight, with his ability to read situations, to make common sense decisions, and to move forward. I'm very impressed with that. He and Jill Silverboard, Deputy County Administrator, and their staff helped us tremendously when we recently needed to remodel our St. Petersburg office and our ballot tabulation room at the Election Center. And they they really stepped up. It was a very tight timeline on that. And because of their efforts and how much they care, we were ready to go when early voting started for this election. As Barry said to me, that's what it's all about. We support each other. And that's why it's been a pleasure to be Supervisor of Elections here. Just all of those things. I will miss you dearly. I'll send you pictures. Thank you.
I get my last one, and I get to say it again publicly. I love you. I absolutely love you, and I pray that God just fills your retirement with many, many blessings.
Thank
We're
you
gonna miss you.
very much, Kathleen. Thank you so much.
We just need to get through that last election next week.
Oh, we will. We will.
Sorry
We
to
will.
bring that up.
My team has not been threatened. At
They're
least
still smiling.
Yes, they are. They're a great group. They would absolutely walk through glass barefoot to get it done, without exception, every darn one of them. And I'm very proud of them, and I love them with all my heart. Thank you so much for today. It means a lot to me.
Thank you.
Okay, next, I believe we have a special acknowledgement for Clerk Burke, his finance division, along with the county administrator, Barry Burton, and Director of Office of Management and Budget,
Bill Berger's out.
Bill Berger, who is not here today, so never mind. Okay.
Stay up here.
Okay. This inaugural Government Finance Professionals Week is sponsored by the Florida Government Finance Officers Association, and its member, it is. I'm trying not to editorialize. Okay. And its member governmental organizations. It is a week-long series of activities aimed at recognizing government finance professionals and the vital services they provide to our state and community. I'm proud to share that Pinellas County's finance and budget professionals are award-winning, which we knew. They remain steadfast in their efforts to be prudent with the management of public funds and have earned many distinctive awards. Okay. I'm proud to share that, and we already said that, 2018 was the 38th consecutive year the organization received the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. 38 years. 2018 was the 13th consecutive year the organization received the award for Outstanding Achievement in Popular Annual Financial Reporting. And you can explain to me later what popular among accountants, I guess.
What are you implying?
2017 was the third time the organization received the Association of Public Treasurers of the United States and Canada Award and the Certification of Excellence for its investment policy. Certifications are awarded every 3 years. Receiving this certification denotes the county has a sound investment policy founded upon professional standards to assist in ensuring prudent management of public funds. And 2018 was the 14th consecutive year Pinellas County received the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. This prestigious award is a great accomplishment. 2019's CAFR, we know what a CAFR is, yes, has been submitted, and we are confident that Pinellas County's prestigious track record will continue. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners that March 16th through 2020 be recognized as Government Finance Professional Week.
Thank you.
And I have a proclamation to give to you or somebody. Want to say something? I know.
Are we doing this? You doing this?
Come on, everyone, get close, please. We have no diseases. No, we're not.
Let's shift this way just a little so we can get more sun.
Shift. Come on, Dave. You can do it.
Seriously.
One, two, three. One, two, three.
Look good, Tony?
No, hang on one second.
We just start with this.
Put a piece of tape on the rug.
One, two, three. Okay, thank you.
I just want to thank you to the board for this proclamation, and also acknowledge my good friend in her retirement, Deborah. We're going to miss you. I have to say the finance staff is not willing to walk on broken glass, unlike the supervisory staff. But, you're such a delightful character and a great friend, and God bless you and Richard. Thank you, Pat.
I bet they would if they were on a deadline. All right. Next up, I'd like to ask Susan Schulp, the Division Director for Survey and Mapping, and all the Public Works staff that are here from Mac Survey Incorporated to join me at the podium. All right, there you are, okay. All right. They will be accepting the Florida Surveyors and Mapping, geez. They will, you can come back here. You can come on back here. Yeah. They will be accepting the Florida Surveys and Mappers Week proclamation. All right. Surveyors and mappers are counted among the founding leaders in our country and were instrumental in the formation of the layout of property boundaries in the United States, which have provided our citizens the enjoyment of property ownership. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and other presidents of the United States served their fellow colonists as surveyors. The citizens of Pinellas County recognize the valuable contributions of the surveying and mapping profession to history development and quality of life in Florida and the USA, and make important decisions based on the knowledge and expertise of licensed surveyors and mappers. Yes, we do. The Florida Surveying and Mapping Society's Tampa Bay chapter and at least 100 Florida licensed professional surveyors and mappers and 32 Florida licensed survey and mapping businesses are in Pinellas County. The survey and mapping profession requires special education, training, the knowledge of mathematics, the related physical and applied sciences, and requirements of law for evidence. Surveyors and mappers are uniquely qualified and licensed to determine and describe land and water boundaries for the management of natural resources and protection of private and public property rights. The continued advancements in instrumentation have required the surveyor and mapper not only to be able to understand and implement the methods of the past, but also to learn and employ modern technology in finding solutions to meet the challenges of the future. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners that the week of March 15th through 21st, 2020 be recognized as Florida Surveyors and Mappers Week. So there. And I have 2 of these, so I'm not sure who gets them. You get one. Would you like to say something?
Sure.
Okay.
On behalf of Pinellas County's Survey and Mapping Division under Public Works, thank you all for recognizing the importance of surveying and mapping as a profession and the dedication, hard work, and skills that it takes to accomplish our work. Survey and mapping is one of the oldest professions, and it goes back, starts in ancient Egypt when surveyors were known as rope stretchers. Then you got into the George Washington age when somebody asked Mr. Washington, before he was president, why did you charge me $5 for a survey? That's ridiculous for 20 cents worth of stakes. He said, well, the 20 cents was for the stakes. The 480 is for knowing where to put them to keep you out of trouble. So anyway, thanks again for supporting surveying and mapping. And on a personal note, the Survey and Mapping Division, and please know that our staff is dedicated, highly dedicated to this county and its citizens, and they're hardworking, and I can't say enough about them. So thank you.
What about broken glass, though?
We have to
Oh, lava. Oh, they do. They do lava. Okay.
We work with you.
Would you like to say something?
Sure. I'm Chris McLaughlin. I own a surveying and mapping business in Clearwater, actually about 150 feet away from their front gate at the Public Works office. I don't work with county projects, but I have utilized the county services many times, and this county survey department, I've lived in 5 different cities around the state, and this county survey department is incredible. The resources, the research that we require for unknown projects, we've dug up some issues that have laid dormant for many years in the surveying world, and these folks really help out. So as a profession in general, I love what I do every day, and I think most of us do. So thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll take some pictures.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good.
All right. The next proclamation we have is for Read Across Pinellas County Month and March 2nd Read Across Pinellas County Day. And I'd like to ask Lynn Tucker from Our Club Child Care's Read Strong Initiative, Amy Shore from the Our Club, Julie Mastery from the Early Learning Coalition, Ellen Zinzaletta from United Way Suncoast, Pang Tao from Pinellas County PTA, Michael Freeney, Pinellas County Schools, and Danielle Hintz, Juvenile Welfare Board. Y'all come on up here. Ms. Lynn Tucker will be accepting the Read Across Pinellas Month and March 2nd Read Across Pinellas County Day proclamation. Great. Cool, okay. We have swag. Read Strong Pinellas is a reading outreach initiative funded by the Juvenile Welfare Board of Pinellas County and powered by the Pinellas Campaign for Grade Level Reading. It is a countywide collaboration with Our Club Child Care, Pinellas County Council PTA, Early Learning Coalition of Pinellas, and United Way Suncoast. Reading on grade level is an essential skill for our children and youth to acquire for high school graduation and career success. Skills to read on grade level start at birth, with families and caregivers helping to build strong reading skills. Read Strong is teaming up with community organizations, faith-based organizations, and businesses to provide children with access to books and to support families and caregivers with strengthening their child's reading skills. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners that March 2020 be recognized as Read Across Pinellas Month and March 2nd as Read Across Pinellas County Day. So, thank you for being here.
So I'd like to thank everybody for inviting us here and doing this proclamation. For our county, reading on grade level and having our kids prepared for school are critical skills for the well-being of our community. So everybody you see up here is very committed to the work that we're doing, and we appreciate the proclamation. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take some pictures.
All right.
This was a little more challenging because it's some tall members.
I guess I can count. I can get one for Bear. Check. I want to check your skills. Well done, sir.
Sir, if you should take notes.
We're doing outreach right now.
I thought you were going to sing a song.
Yes, we were trying to help.
She's awesome.
Thank
If you
you.
ever heard Aretha Franklin.
1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks so much.
Always good to see you.
Oh, thanks, Kate.
Okay, and one more proclamation you have to put up with me reading. Okay, where am I? Oops. I want to ask Megan Ross and Kelly Levy to come on up. Our water divas. I love that we have women in charge of this department. I'm sorry. Of these departments. Hey. Go with it. Yeah. Water resources keep our communities healthy, our cities running, and our economies growing. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Southwest Florida Water Management District, Tampa Bay Water, the Tampa Bay Estuary Program, and Pinellas County work together continuously to preserve, protect, and promote water resources and the value of water in our region. Pinellas County supports the planning and rehabilitation of critical water resources infrastructure, including drinking water, wastewater, reclaimed water, stormwater, and surface water for the continued protection of public health and environment. Pinellas County recognizes that a trained and skilled workforce to support the operation and maintenance of water resource facilities is critical to the future needs of Pinellas County citizens and visitors. Every business, industry, homeowner, and visitor can make a difference when it comes to preserving, protecting, and promoting our vital, sorry, that's a really hard sentence to read. Promoting our vital water resources. Pinellas County citizens have managed to reduce their personal daily consumption of potable water from 153 gallons in 1990 to 73 gallons in 2019. Good for you guys. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners that the month of March 2020 be recognized as Water Matters Month. And Pinellas County and all residents and businesses are urged to help protect our precious water resources by practicing even more conservation. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board, for recognizing the value of water in our community. And at this time, I'd like to have our teams from Public Works and Utilities come join us up here at the podium to be recognized as well.
I want to carry you too much.
It's a lovely picture.
All right, can everyone fit in? So my name is Megan Ross. I'm the Director of Utilities, and this is Kelly Levy standing next to me, the Director of Public Works. And standing up here around us are just a few of the members of our team providing and protecting water resources in Pinellas County. But there's also something everyone can do to protect our water resources. So we'd like to talk about that for a minute. The first thing you can do is think before you flush. Wipes such as these, baby wipes, flushable wipes, whatever you want to call them, wet wipes, do not belong in the toilet. Okay, regardless of what it says on the packaging, they are not safe to flush, and they belong in the trash, not the toilet. What it can cause is it clogs in our pipes, pumps. It can even cause sewer overflows, essentially, which causes pollution, and we don't want any of that. So think before you flush and throw these in the trash.
And the other message that we'd like to leave you with today is a very simple one. It's only rain down the drain. All right, those storm drains that are out in our community carry water and whatever pollution ends up on the ground out into your favorite lake, stream, or Gulf of Mexico or Tampa Bay. So while this is a great time to be out there landscaping and mowing and everybody's raking up all those leaves, please make sure they end up in the trash, not in the stormwater system, not in our local waterways where they can do a lot of harm. Thank you.
And we've got a little visual up on the podium, if we can show it real quick. These are a bunch of wipes and other trash that ends up in the sewer system, down the toilet, etc. And so that's why you want to keep it out. You know, anything you put in the water doesn't leave the water until someone takes it out. Okay? So finally, we have a little presentation to the commissioners. We've got some coffee mugs.
Oh, glad you clarified.
Goes straight from wastewater to coffee. We got iron stomachs, okay?
Thank you so much.
Horrible segue.
So these coffee mugs that George and Hillary are handing out to our commissioners, they say no water, no coffee. And they further symbolize the value of water in just our everyday lives. To drink coffee, you know, without water we can't drink coffee, you know, we can't drink things like beer either. And, you know, you can't wash your hands and things like that. Things that we enjoy every day. By the way, these coffee mugs were a donation from the Florida Section American Waterworks Association. We just want to thank them very much for this donation. So thank you.
Look like solid.
Yeah, it's nice.
Sure.
Cut this by about a third. Basically, it's not storm.
Is he behaving over there, Jane?
Who? Charlie. Is the Pope a Catholic?
So yes. Yes, he's not behaving. go, there you go.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. And back up a little bit.
Wide angle.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
Hey, next we have our I Am Pinellas Employees Recognition Award. Our employees work hard every day to make our community better. In our ongoing video program, we recognize individuals who exemplify the dedication of our Pinellas County team. It's only through our employees and the excellent work they do that we can fulfill our vision to be the standard for public service in America. Michael Butts makes sure that 500,000 customers get high-quality drinking water from their tap every day. As chief plant operator at the Keller Water Treatment Plant, Michael monitors 52 million gallons of water to make sure it's treated to the highest standards before it's sent out across Pinellas County. Michael has built a lifelong career at the county, starting just out of high school at the Parks Department and working his way up through the ranks before moving to utilities. For Michael and the whole team at Keller, water customers are like their own family because their own families drink Pinellas County water. Mr. Administrator, can you come on up here? And Michael, please join me at the podium. And we're going to play a video for our I Am Pinellas.
Michael Butts has the same goal each day he goes to work at the Keller Water Treatment Facility.
Number one goal is to make sure that we produce safe drinking water.
That's 52 million gallons of safe drinking water each day, to be precise, carefully treated to exceed state and federal standards before reaching the taps of more than 500,000 customers, including Michael's family.
My family drinks it. I mean, we drink tap water. It's great water.
Michael and his team monitor the facility's water quality around the clock. They immediately investigate and correct the smallest irregularity. How do they know their equipment is showing accurate water quality levels?
We test it every 2 hours.
They complete that water testing by hand in a lab because you can never be too safe with drinking water.
Being here, producing water that's safe, that everybody uses, it's a great feeling.
Michael's role as Keller's chief plant operator is just the latest chapter in a lifelong commitment to public service.
I started actually at 18 years old, right out of high school. Went to Seminole High, went down to Lake Seminole Park, got hired on there, and went through 28 years with the Park Department.
His mid-career transition to the Utilities Department brought new mentors and a new work home.
Spending this much time with one organization, I can tell you a lot of ups and downs, but you know, Pinellas County, I mean, they do take care of their employees.
Michael is proud to work for an organization directly supplying our community with a critical resource.
You know, I think they're fortunate to have me as an employee, but I think I'm more fortunate to work for them. I'm Michael Butts, and I am Pinellas County.
So how many years have you been at the county?
August will be, or September will be 40.
Oh my goodness. Would you like to say something?
No, I just want to say thank you for the career. It's been awesome.
Thank you for your service.
Yep.
Well, we got to see the chair and I come out to the Keller facility just recently and got to see all that you guys do in action, and it's amazing to see a room that looks like a master control area that has so much information that you guys are able to disseminate and make sure that wherever in the system something occurs, you're right on it. So, you know, that I'm sure we do things a little differently than when you began 40 years ago, keeping up with that technology and keeping us safe. So, you know, for everything, I'm glad you find the career exciting, and we're very lucky to have you. But thank you all for everything that you do. It really is a fantastic operation, and we congratulate you.
Thank you.
All right.
I can't do that. You need to shift it right.
I'll help. He does it every day.
One, two, three.
Won't recognize him by next November.
I depend on you.
1, 2, 3.
I depend on you to be the good one. Don't become justice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And our partner presentation, I'd like to call up Robin Grantham, Lead Communications Coordinator with SwiftMud.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you a little bit today about an exciting rebate program that the Water Management District has partnered with Tampa Bay Water to offer for new building and development. And as one of Tampa Bay Water's participating member governments, you have the opportunity to help promote this to your builders, which will ultimately help to sustain your water resources within Pinellas County. So they did just distribute a folder to you that just has the note slides that we're covering today, a flyer that tells you about the rebate. If anyone does work closely with any builders and developers that would be interested in participating, my information is on that flyer. You can email me directly. I'll send you an electronic version, as well as the criteria to what is known as the Florida Water Star program. Is anyone here familiar with Florida Water Star? A little bit. Well, Florida Water Star, this is a statewide program, was developed by the St. Johns River Water Management District just over a decade ago. What it is a voluntary program for new building and development that meets specific water efficiency criteria. Now, a main question that I get asked with this from the get-go is, what are you doing for existing homes? Existing homes, SwiftMud, all the counties, we support the FloridaFriendly Landscaping program. We'll continue to do so, and their principles are incorporated strongly into Florida Water Star. But what we learned when Florida Water Star began that decade ago was that with FloridaFriendly Landscaping, you're able to influence homeowners on an individual basis. Versus if you're meeting with a builder and it's a new development, that one strong relationship immediately affects hundreds, if not thousands, of homes. So during today's presentation, I'm going to just cover the basics of Florida Water Star. You do have the entire criteria printed out in that packet for you, but I'm just going to give you the big picture, some key items. And while I'm presenting, if you do have a question, please don't hesitate to interject. So Florida Water Star does have three main areas of criteria. Now, for a builder to receive the rebate that we're talking about, a home has to achieve Florida Water Star certification. And that means that they have to meet every single criteria. They are prerequisites. It's not point-based. It says you do all or none, or you don't get any of the rebate funds. So what we're looking at is outside the home, in the irrigation system in the landscape, which I'm sure most of you are familiar that more than half of that water use is used outside, as well as inside their home. So when we're looking inside, very simple things that actually all homeowners should be doing right now, especially related to Water Conservation Month here, is when you're purchasing new fixtures in your home, look for that Water Sense label. That's going to be for your toilets, shower heads, faucets. All fixtures inside Florida Water Star homes have to meet that criteria. We're also looking at appliances, Energy Star for clothes washers and dishwashers, isn't just related to conserving energy, it's also related to conserving water, their water use factors. Those are just some of the items that we're looking at inside. There are additional criteria as well. Outside, when it relates to irrigation systems, irony of this is I've never had an irrigation system in my life, nor installed or worked on one, but my decade of experience, I now train people on how to do it and installed my own. I know way too much about it now. But we do look for certain components of that irrigation system that are going to be saving water for your homeowners. That's pressure regulation. Something as simple as check valves on spray heads. Every spray head leaks 3 to 5 gallons of water every time you turn it off. And if you think that some homes have roughly 20 to 40 spray heads, 3 to 5 gallons times twice a week, that's a lot of water savings by something that literally costs $4 for a bag of 60 check valves. So we look for check valves. We're also looking for micro irrigation in those plant bed areas. The number one criteria that ultimately does reduce the most water use is that we only allow no more than 60% high volume irrigation. So 60 or high volume irrigation is sprayer rotor heads that you usually see on turf grass. So they're really limited with the amount of turf grass that has that spray and rotor head water spraying out on it. And then lastly, as I mentioned earlier, we talked about Florida-Friendly Landscaping. All of our plant selections, all the data related to landscape design is directly from University of Florida's FFL program. So we are looking for the right plant and the right place. We're confirming there's no invasive or exotic species in that landscape and that all of those plants are selected based on not only the plant site as a whole, but for each individual zone of plants. And then we also require minimum tree shade of 30%. Tree shade reduces evapotranspiration, so therefore helps to conserve water as well. So when you look at this as a whole, Florida Water Star now within the state has more than 7,000 certified homes, and we have been able to do studies to see the actual water savings in real time, comparing Florida Water Star certified to non-Florida Water Star certified homes. These took place at on top of the world communities in Marion County, as well as within the Toho Water Authority. We found an average water savings of 48,000 gallons of water per year, per home. Now, that might not sound like a lot at one home, but now look at, we've got 7,000 homes, that's in 1 year. Now take that lifespan of that home. The lifespan that we have for an irrigation system is 15 years. So we're looking at billions and billions of water being saved. So also the homeowners monetarily, they're saving roughly $530 annually on their utility bills compared to homes that are constructed to traditional designs. All right, so now we're going to go right on to the rebate. Does anyone have a question before I discuss the rebate program related specifically to Florida Water Star? All right, so the rebate. Tampa Bay Water developed their demand management plan a couple years ago. They worked very closely with district staff. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the demand management plan, but what it is they were really trying to look at population growth in the far future, 20 years out. And so, and they knew how much water they needed to be saving every single day to meet the water demand. So therefore, the demand management program it's a 10-year program that was developed that includes 11 different projects within it that offer rebates that go anywhere from rebates to installing water efficient dishwashers, individual to toilet rebates, to the biggest chunk of that program, which I'm proud to say is Florida Water Star. So over the next 10 years, the district has partnered with Tampa Bay Water to offer more than $11 million worth of rebates to builders. So the rebates are $1,000 per home. In order to qualify for the rebate, it's not every Tampa Bay Water member government is not participating, but we do got Pasco, Hillsborough, Pinellas counties, as well as St. Pete and Newport Richey. The rebates are offered in the amount of $1,000 a home. Rebates can go directly to that builder, or if the builder doesn't want to have to deal with any of the paperwork for the rebate, they can sign a form and allot that rebate to go to their irrigation contractor or landscape contractor. To qualify,
commercial industry, Thomas Randolph, and he found us the place in Pinellas Park. It was we had looked at 3 or 4 other places by our broker that we were dealing with, and my nephew called us up and said, I think I found you something. I don't know the name of what it was, but it was a pickling plant.
So it's been there for
Do
a while.
anybody remember that place?
Yeah.
It was a pickling plant. They had it when we walked in, and we thought we'd fall over from the smell. And our whole deal was contingent on the fact that they could get rid of that smell. So we purchased the building in 2014, I think, and did our little, whatever we had to do to make it good for Toffee to go. And we've been there ever since. And it has been the biggest blessing. We love it. We have this.
Now listen, for 13 years, we were a half mile from our home driving to work, so that was nice. But I tell you what, there's nothing better than driving across that bridge and having the water on both sides. I know it gets backed up sometimes, but it is a gorgeous drive. She loves to see the dolphins, so and it's in a nice area where it's not all, it's a lot of residential, so it's good to get employees. We're always looking for employees. It's a very seasonal type. We're open all year, but we're very busy at Christmas. So we've had great luck with employees that live close by. There's a lot of fast food restaurants close by. Bus lines are great. They're close by. And all that has really helped out.
And we also say we hire in August about 35 people through December. Spread the word. Everybody spread the word. We're always looking for good seasonal help. So it's a family recipe. It's my husband's family recipe. We hand make it in small batches. Our pots are this big. We make it. We have 3 stoves at our facility, and it is incredible. And we are excited to share it with everybody in the room today.
So that's about it. Any kind of questions?
Oh, major thing is corporate gifting. That's our big. We have a retail shop in South Tampa. It's called the Dessert Spot at Toffee to Go, and we do all kinds of desserts, all made from scratch. We hope y'all will come check it out when you're in Tampa. But we specialize in corporate gifting, so if somebody wants to buy 20 gifts, if somebody wants to buy 5,000 gifts, we can ship them individually to your recipients, and that's what we specialize in.
Well, first of all, congratulations. That's just awesome on the marriage and on the business.
Marriage has been tougher than the business.
Well, good marriages take a lot of work.
They do.
But really, thank you. And you'd mentioned the 1,000 feet and the 3,000 feet, and I didn't hear the square footage of your new place.
16,000
Wow.
square feet. Yeah.
So you really have grown beautifully.
With a loading dock too. We used to have to take every package and put it in the FedEx truck. And now we can use pallets and put 18 pallets in a truck. It was a dream come true.
Well,
really.
I was just going to say congratulations, and it's just awesome to hear about a growth like you guys have experienced, and the faith that you have, and the family that you center the business around. So, great job.
Very
Great
nice.
job.
Can we pass everybody?
Yes. Do you have a question there?
Not a question, just a comment that it's so nice to finally meet the couple behind one of my favorite trees.
Thank you so much.
So, Charlie, thank you. What a great idea.
We like keeping things sweet. So.
Yep.
All right.
Like I said, I'm torn with all the water conservation here. I'm washing my hands for 20 seconds. I'm trying to conserve water, so I don't know what to do.
Keep washing your hands.
Keep washing your hands, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
These are non-fattening.
Great. I'm using it.
They are so
Yeah.
I did. Thank you.
Thank you. If I can.
I didn't get mine yet. Oh my God.
Right.
Thank you.
I remember that box. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
It is so good. Well done.
Just want to, again, thank the Shawks for being here and sharing their story with us. And I was telling them earlier how Mr. Burton did buy corporate gifts from them from last Christmas. So that's part of how we got to enjoy it last Christmas. So, but really appreciate y'all being here today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim.
I just tasted it. It's delicious.
I bought it from a different shop, though.
Oh.
It's from them.
Okay. Well, get your toffee. All right.
All right, next on the agenda is citizens to be heard. Come on up. You will have 3 minutes to share whatever. First up is Edie Darling. Edie Darling?
She's coming.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see it.
Oh, promotion with the candy.
Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Edie Darling, and I'm here to present to you an Ambassador of Peace proposal. The reason why I'm presenting this proposal to you today is because recently, back in September, I reached out to local leaders, community leaders, and I want to thank Commissioner Welch and also Commissioner Justice for believing in me and writing letters on behalf of myself to the President of the United States, also to Marco Rubio, and also Rick Scott, nominating me to become an International Ambassador of Peace. So I believe with all things that things should start on the community level. So I have been in law enforcement since 1994 and off and on. I've been in ministry since 2004, operating a not-for-profit organization, 3 is enough, since that time as well. But my passion is to the community. My passion is for peace. Having been in law enforcement, not to say I don't like taking people to jail, but unfortunately things happen and they go. But I'm all about how do we prevent people from going to jail. And my heart is to establish here in Pinellas County and ask you to consider an Ambassador of Peace position. To establish, and may I say, I did send those proposals to you, so you should have gotten them. But it says it's to establish and implement an Ambassador of Peace position countywide, reporting directly to the Board of County Commissioners, or a designee. The Ambassador of Peace will not turn a blind eye to the inequitable disparities and urgent crises that critically face the citizens of Pinellas County. Responsible for a quick response, or QRF team. The Ambassador of Peace oversees, directs, and the preparation and the ability to effectively moderate occurrences of catastrophe. This includes the ability and preparation to defuse potential explosive events. These incidents would include, but not limited to, officer-involved shootings, line-of-duty deaths, member suicides, riots, families mourning the death of their murdered children, post-traumatic stress disorders, and secondary trauma of anger, grief, and frustrations that propel and fuel unrest. Establishing roundtables of peace, the Ambassador of Peace will ensure that all people who are impacted by injustice and on the quest for peace will be heard. This will begin with communication. Opportunities of meaningful dialogue, healing solutions with love, compassion, free of judgment, and assumptions will build trust. There's many more to this presentation. I know my time is limited, but I would like to give some of that time if you have any questions for me.
Well, I'll just say deputy. I still want to call you deputy. Good to see you again. What's the status of your application to the president?
So right now, I'm hearing that individuals are getting their letters back in the public sector, that it has gone on to the appropriate area.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Next up is Loretta Riquetti.
I'm a resident of Tarpon Springs. I've lived there for 20 years, and I've recently become aware of the West Klosterman Preserve and how our Pinellas County School Board is planning on selling it. And I'm here to urge you to purchase this land because it is a rare piece of land that I've enjoyed along with my community and my family for many years. Many times when I drive by it daily, and I see roseate spoonbills, wood storks. I know there are gopher tortoises there. I see bald eagles flying over this land. It's beautiful. This is over 8 acres that, from what I understand, is going to be up for grabs for development of multifamily homes. Let's see here. This parcel is adjacent to the MPMA property, which is the Mariner Point Management Area. This property contains all of the same elements identified on the MPMA property and would enhance the MPMA property. The Comprehensive Conservation and Management Plan for Clearwater Harbor and St. Joseph Sound speaks to the necessity of protecting these native wetlands. I also do not want the property rezoned or annexed by the city of Tarpon Springs, because doing so would allow high-density housing to be built on the property that would be detrimental to our environment. Currently, there's no sidewalk on this side of this land, and I would love to see a sidewalk. I would love to see a bench, because as it is now, I see people pull over and photographers taking pictures of the wildlife on it. It's worth saving, and my family and I ride bikes right along there. I think it's a tourist attraction. A lot of people are on their way to Howard Park and Sunset Beach, and I think it's something that we as a county should be proud of and take the effort to save. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, where is this property actually located? You said the MPMA, but
West end of Klosterman. There's a piece of land it's actually perpendicular to another piece of land that we own to the
south of Shore Lake.
Yeah.
So Whispering.
It's called the West Klosterman Preserve, and it's currently owned by the Pinellas County School District.
At the far west end? Okay.
Yeah, not all the way to the end, but almost to the end.
All right.
I'd also like to add that on November 20th, I was involved in a multi-collision car accident where I was rear-ended. And then 2 weeks later, I was actually pretty much right in front of the property where there's a stop sign, and I was rear-ended again at the stop sign. This is, I believe, happening because of the unsustained growth in the area, and there's a lot of traffic, and by building multifamily homes on this gorgeous piece of property, I think would be a crime. And because of my two accidents where I currently, to this day, am seeing therapy for, I just think it's a warning sign that people are in a hurry, they're frustrated. There's a lot of congestion in this residential neighborhood. There's a lot of people from out of town coming into our neighborhood to enjoy Howard Park.
I need you to wrap it up.
Oh, yes, excuse me. And that I just hope that you consider saving it and doing what you can to put this money towards the green funds to save this valuable property. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Don Richter.
Madam Chair, Commissioner, how are you doing? Good morning. Morning. I'd like to thank you in advance for allowing me to address the commission. My name is Don Richter, and I live at 235 Timberlane Drive in Palm Harbor, and I'll be speaking on the same subject as the last speaker did, the school board property on Klosterman Road. It is 14 acres, just under, and a bid has been received by Hemmer and Associates. They are a developer that specializes in high-density projects. The plan is for them to purchase the property and rezone it from the existing 2.5 units per acre to 7.5 units per acre, which would be about 105 units, give or take. As the last speaker alluded to, it's a residential area. There's high traffic on the roads already. So I'm here representing over 1,400 households in the area, which she's one and I am one, opposing the development of this property. Prior to the listing of the property, the sale of this property, the school board approached the county probably about a year and a half ago on giving them the option to purchase, or you guys the option to purchase this property. After investigating, the county declined the purchase, citing a low scoring on a land acquisition template. The property scored in the lower 1/3 of all the properties that were scored. The template looks at many criteria, such as environmental concerns, funding availability, and yearly operating costs. The development will not be a good fit in the area, will add to the already overburdened roadways, and negatively impact the over 1,400 households in the area's quality of life. A narrow 2-lane, tree-lined, hilly, dead-end road is not a good location for this project of this size. Our ask of you today is to have the property rescored, revisit the scoring instrument and rescore it, and for the county to rethink the purchase of this beautiful, fragile, and rare piece of Florida. We have partnered with the school board on this matter. They had pen in hand, getting ready to sign the contract, to vote for the contract, and they have granted us 6 months to explore various funding and purchase options, which is very, very kind to them. That was the first piece of this puzzle, and you guys are the second piece of this puzzle. So I ask of you again today to listen to the over 1,400 Pinellas County residents that are opposing this project, and I'd like to thank you for your time today. Any questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much.
Next we have Lee Wilkerson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Lee Wilkerson, 810 Gulf Boulevard, Indian Rocks Beach. I'm a Pinellas County volunteer. I work in the Parks Department. I started as a volunteer cleaning out McKay Creek near 16th Avenue Southwest in Largo. The stormwater is supposed to be cleaning out those booms and never gets cleaned out. So now that job became overwhelming for me, and after interviewing a lot of the park employees, park visitors, I've now interviewed and met with the Parks Department executives, county commissioners, and talked about this. Our customer is not getting a good product. We have 115 shelters. We're renting them. We're charging our county visitors to stay there, and we're delivering a very substandard shelter to them. They're dirty, they're unmaintained, we do not have the manpower, we do not have the machinery, and we don't have the will and the motivation in our crews to get these parks cleaned up. I'm encouraging every one of you to go out to one of our parks at your earliest convenience. See your family there, your 4 generations of your family. People that go to our parks, they're not wealthy. You know, it's a big deal when you have your child's 6-year birthday there. And Debbie, who I met, spent $200 and rented the shelter. It's all the money she had. She's a nurse. She had her grandmother, her mother, herself, and her 6-year-old. And it's a big deal for her that this place is beautiful. It is a beautiful setting. We know our parks are beautiful park-like settings, but we are not delivering a park-like condition. I have been raking for the last 1.5 years. I spent 34 hours in January, just for one example. All I do is rake and clean up. I have no one helping me. We have not picked up a leaf since 2008, okay? Taylor Park has over 1,000 oak trees. So imagine your own yard, if you have a lawn, and you don't do any maintenance and you only mow it every 2 or 3 weeks. And what are your neighbors gonna say? They're not gonna like it. So we have the people. We need property managers. Rangers don't want to clean bathrooms. Rangers don't want to be blowing and mowing and raking and cleaning. We need a property manager. We need a greenskeeper for that job. That's a new job title that we need in the Parks Department. Fill those jobs. Our parks will be beautiful again, and you know, all of our visitors will be much happier. Thank you for your attention.
Madam Chair, may I just ask a question here? So, not of you,
Okay.
Mr. Wilkerson, but thank you so much. Barry, I would really like to get an update. I don't know if any of the rest of you feel the same way, but do you remember back during the recession when the Parks Department was one of those departments that we severely cut back on staff in? And I'd like to get a better handle of where we are today and what the assessment is of the parks from Paul, maybe. I think he's the one that's in
Well, Paul's not here, but
charge.
Raheem is.
I know, but
you know, and as part of that, I think the other thing you have to look at is the way in which they conduct their business. It used to be every different department operated independently. Now they do things cross-departmental as part of that efficiency that they gained during that time period. But I'd like Raheem to speak to that.
Thank you.
Raheem Harji, Assistant County Administrator. So to Barry's point, what we're looking at right now is letting the experts take care of the assets. A perfect example is previously a lot of the utilities infrastructure was maintained by folks who were in the park system. Now Megan and Paul are working out an MOU so that the experts can do it who are more qualified to do that work. We're using the same approach with stormwater. We're using the same approach with pavement. So over time, we can gain those efficiencies. In addition to that, what we're doing right now is going through a level of service analysis to basically document what do we do and what level we do it at. Then that sets the stage for a discussion. Is this level acceptable? Do we need to do more? Do we need to do less? And then what resource levels do we need if we're going to do that more? We need the data to support those decisions. So that's actually going on right now. So as soon as that's done, Barry will bring that back to you.
That's been our work over this past year, as we discussed during the budget, where there was a number of areas where there was requests for additional positions. And so we said, rather than doing that because we think that's the right thing to do, let's show us. And we develop the data sets and the tools to be able to identify levels of service associated with certain funding levels. And so that's been the analysis that they've been conducting over the last year. We'll have that as part of this year's budget process.
Okay. So then, is it possible for someone like Mr. Wilkerson to give you some input about his own experience, which might be valuable since he's actually worked in the parks?
Actually, he has met with Paul and he has provided him his input.
Oh, good.
So that's going to
Excellent.
be considered when we do this analysis.
Thank you.
So while we're setting these metrics, we'll be looking at things about like how often we mow and rake and that sort of thing.
Yep.
So when do you think that analysis will be done?
I'll have to follow up with Paul, but we can get you an update.
Well, could you please leave that on a list of things to do since you probably won't be here by the time it ends? I'm really concerned about those things.
I will send him an email right now.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask a question, Madam Chair?
Yes, please.
That was funny.
It was?
It was.
Okay.
So
happy I could amuse you today.
I haven't really heard complaints about the parks. If anything, we've heard from a couple of folks who are passionate about the fee, the $5 fee, but I haven't really heard any complaints about the parks. I visit the parks. I haven't really seen any of the issues that the gentleman was describing. So do we track customer views of the parks when we do our annual survey? Their satisfaction with the parks, and what are we seeing on the surveys?
I can get the results because that's part of our annual citizen survey question, so we can share those results with you. But even something simple as the CAT system is a good way to gauge impacts like customer complaints, because if they're not getting things resolved, they'll obviously call the commission. So we have that data we can share with you.
Have you seen any trends? I mean,
I haven't seen a significant increase or decrease. I mean, there have been a few issues here and there, but those are quickly resolved.
okay. And I just relate that before we implemented the fee, I did hear a lot of complaints. And that was one of the reasons we implemented that $5 fee. So. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is David Ballard Geddes Jr.
Hi, good afternoon, Commissioners. David Ballard Geddes Jr. I live on Georgia Avenue in Palm Harbor. All persons born or naturalized, but what in actuality is a 14th Amendment citizen, Statute 373.715, Section 15, defines this person of such to be either naturalized or artificial, to include any individual firm, partnership, association, business trust, organization, corporation, company, the United States of America, the state, any and all political subdivisions, regions, districts, municipalities, and public agencies thereof. The enumeration therein is not intended to be exclusive or exhaustive. According to this statute law, the definition of person seems to be the humanizing of a corporate entity manifested as a body politic, going as far to include the nature of being artificial as naturalized. As defined, it does not appear this person has any real human qualities born about it. Now, the word naturalization I found in the Constitution twice, once in the 14th Amendment and again in Article 1, Section 8, stating naturalization is established on uniform rules and uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcy. The 14th Amendment birthing of a corporate water jurisdiction is naturalized, is manifested on an artificial bankrupting of the water supply, aggregated as a constitutional objective in a long-standing act of deliberate political piracy, a high seas uniform offense where in actuality the federal court system, the judges themselves, as based on Federalist Paper number 65, will be the subject of federal prosecution. As politically navigated, the 14th Amendment birthright has absolutely nothing to do with Roe versus Wade. The term birthing applies itself in a nautical sense. Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution assails itself as a ship of war concerning captures on water based on reprisal, seen as a letter of marque in Article 1, Section 8. Naturally, the 14th Amendment has everything to do with the docking, the birthing of a ship of war, fortified, embodied in as an artificial corporate birthing of a water jurisdiction, a compact which is to be made with the water district as a ship of war seeking to dock itself artificially through the use of constitutional mediums, sorcery, and counterfeiting. A corporate docking of a ship of war, fortified, embodied as a water jurisdiction, manifested on an artificial bankrupting of the water supply, declaring itself free to levy war, claiming due process rights based on an act of rebellion in the 14th Amendment. I strongly urge this board to withdraw such a amendment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Greg Pound.
Thank you, leaders, for allowing me to speak here today. I'm coming out of Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16, where it says, "For it is the leaders of this people that cause them the error, and they that are led of them are destroyed." The reason I ran for sheriff in Pinellas County the first time was to try to clean up the county and get the corruption straightened out. And then the second time, as I ran against Robert Guattari and two other attorneys from the sheriff's department, I knew as a fact that I was a shoo-in candidate for sheriff in Pinellas County, and I knew then at that point that I would be able to clean out the corruption and lead the way out of 67 counties in the state of Florida, showing an example of getting people of integrity and not these traitors and these people who have sold us out for money. So what we've got now is we've got nothing, and while I was up in Tallahassee, the things I've learned, the biggest problems we have in the state of Florida now is guardianship, stealing old people's money. Literally, it's totally out of control, and it's happening through the court system. This is the domestic violence scam that was been going through DCF to come and get people's children and divide up the family and destroy the family is done by the women running DCF and the Coalition for Domestic Violence. I've sat through that committee. I sat 8 hours hearing after hearing, listening to the testimonies of the people behind it. Their goal is to destroy our family. You know, when Christ said, "Go make disciples of all nations," we get the English words from disciple, discipline. People without discipline cannot survive. And our goal in this country at one time was to create a people who were in control of themselves. The Constitution was written for people who could self-govern themselves. We're supposed to be a self-governing people. We're supposed to teach this to our children so they're protected. Now we have a system that's totally out of control, bankrupt. Our leaders are selling us out as a nation. Everything we have in this country is from China. China now owns America. We got some major problems. This coronavirus was sold to China from America, and then they bring it back over here. And we have a country now that we have sold it out. We're selling ourselves out. The Bible says, buy the truth and sell it not. The truth is not to be sold. There's something more important than money, and it's called the truth. And you are our leaders, and you show by not submitting to the Constitution. And what the framers of this country established was a system that could not fail if it was followed. And it's ruled by we the people. And you guys need to submit to the law. The law applies equally to everyone. It's to apply equally to every person in this country. And that means our leadership. And our leadership now is not submitting to the law. They're paying their way out. You can see it from Washington, D.C. to Pinellas County, Florida, by the traders and the people we've got running our county. And so all I can do is appeal to the people. I mean, if you don't fix it, the Bible says when you love evil more than good, the Creator's going to give you evil. That's what He's going to give you. You love death, you're going to get it.
Thank you. Next up is the consent agenda.
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Number 12, please.
Do we have a second?
Number 12.
Second.
Okay.
Just wanted to remove number 12.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Long, second by Commissioner Welch. Okay.
Oops. I'm a
I'm a
yes. Thank you.
Okay. That was unanimous. Item 12.
Yeah, just this is the Tampa Bay Water Annual Financial Report that we just submit for the record. But I just thought it was important. I mentioned it earlier that the budget we'll be having a budget hearing next month, but we'll be holding rates again. I think it's for the sixth straight year. They continue to make significant investments in maintaining their facilities and planning for long-term investment for the preservation of Tampa Bay water, which we've all the member governments have invested big dollars to make sure that we have good, clean water for our residents. And the only other thing I would say is that is the standard comment from our auditor, which was regarding internal control or financial reporting and compliance on other matters, the auditors did not identify any deficiencies in internal control that they considered to be material weaknesses. The result of their test disclosed no instances of non-compliance or other matters that are required to be reported under government auditing standards. So just wanted, before we tuck that away, just want to make sure that my fellow commissioners got that. So thank you. That's all I had. I'll move approval on item 12.
Second with a comment, Madam Chair.
We have a, yes, please.
Thank you, Commissioner Eggers, for pulling that. I thought it was very interesting. There's a graph in there that shows the percent usage by each member, and that Tampa is still basically none. But I remember Bob Stewart would always talk about 40%, that we were 40%, and that's really changed over the years, Pinellas County. And so thank you for pulling that out. I also wanted to congratulate you for being elected chair of Tampa Bay Water. Thank you for your leadership.
Appreciate that, Commissioner.
May I make a comment, please? Commissioner Eggers, I'm just so thankful for your leadership on that board, and I know you're just going to keep it all on a nice, even keel going forward.
It's the plan.
No more, no more drama.
Well, certainly that's the
I'm
plan.
not sure that'll be over with.
Yeah, it's water we're talking about after all, so that is quite so simple. But thank you for your comment.
You're
Appreciate it.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Eggers, second by Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Okay, item 19. I need that.
Item 19 is a resolution granting status to the Seminole Junior Warhawks Athletic Association. This is for a donation of 400 feet of fiber cable to them for their use.
Move approval.
Second.
Any questions? We have a motion by Commissioner Justice, second by Commissioner Long. unanimous. Item 20.
These are revisions to the elite event funding guidelines from the Tourist Development Council. These revisions update the rating criteria and allowable use of designated sponsorship funds for event operating expenses. This was unanimously approved by the Tourism Development Council for your approval.
Move approval.
Second. Other question?
Okay, go ahead with your question.
I have forgotten, and I see that the folks are here. I don't know if Steve or Leroy has the answer, but what is the status of the Dali request for funding? I don't remember.
I'll have Steve come up.
Steve?
We approved it.
Yeah, I thought we
What?
approved it.
We did.
I thought we did, but somebody questioned me about it yesterday, and
Oh, I thought you were asking about the project.
yeah.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. I saw an email, I believe it was 2 days ago, where they are outlining the areas of agreement for promotional opportunities, and I think all that got worked out, but that, like I said, was 2 days ago.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't dreaming.
Nope.
And it's coming back to us one more time, or?
No, it should, because it'll come back with the contract saying
Right.
what we've agreed upon.
That was just preliminary approval we gave.
Preliminary
Yes,
approval, they
the-
have
the
to then put
negotiation.
the details
And then we
to-
find out
Yeah.
what kind of sponsorship benefits the county gets.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. Any other questions? We had a motion from Commissioner Welch, second Commissioner Long. That is unanimous.
I think they make them quite a bit clearer.
What? Oh, yes, yes. Item 21.
This is the third amendment to the contract with Miles Partnership for digital marketing services. This increases the amount $1 million annually, which is what you approved in the 2020 budget.
Questions? Motions? Move approval.
Can Mr. Bridges just give us an overview, or if he's the appropriate person?
Hello there.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Leroy Bridges, Vice President of Digital and Communications for Visit St. Pete Clearwater. As County Administrator mentioned, third amendment to the contract. The first amendment was a reallocation of dollars for paid search, SEM, search engine marketing. It was a trial period of that program back 3+ years ago. We moved those dollars from BVK at the time into Miles. That program, that trial went well. And so following that, we moved, we put another increase in to allow for shifting all of the digital marketing to Miles from BVK. So that was, if I recall, a little more than $500,000 a shift in search engine marketing. And then we shifted all of the digital marketing over, and that maintained for at least a year. And then we came back for another increase in digital marketing. Obviously, the digital world and the realm increasing, the needs increasing, and thus the need to increase it once again. This contract is up at the end of next year, 2021, December 2021. Obviously, leading into that, there'll be a full RFP and process for the next round.
Always great to hear your insights.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Commissioner.
Questions? Yes, Commissioner Long.
Thank you for that update. And do you have any updates for us on how the coronavirus is affecting our tourism bookings at our hotels, et cetera, et cetera? We've got quite a few big festivals coming up, and they must be a little anxious.
Yeah, I can speak to the hotel side. I know there's a lot of work being done on the event side.
We're gonna update that in just a
somebody
minute.
will touch on. From the hotel side, a lot of destinations, a lot of places are feeling the hit on the group and meeting side, and that's consistent locally. Obviously, our core visitor is leisure, not meetings and group. So we're a little insulated from that, but that's not to say that the hotels aren't losing considerable business, hundreds of thousands of dollars in business because of canceled groups and meetings. On the leisure side, according to our hotels, we're sustaining, we're solid right now for the month of March as it appears. Not as many cancellations. However, we're going to start turning our attention very soon to pace, future bookings. As you would imagine, a lot of customers aren't in a mindset of booking that next trip right now. And so our hoteliers' concern, and certainly our concern as we move out of March and into April, May, and June, are future bookings. The good news is our marketing strategy and our visitors shifts to more in-state and closer to home with the summertime. So we really, we had a call today with all of our agencies. We're talking about contingency plans and what we might do moving forward. But our plan as it is, as planned, is in-state and closer to home with job market visitation. So we're prepared right now. We feel good about the situation we're in to help our hoteliers, but obviously it's ever evolving and changing by the day. And so we're monitoring, obviously, staying connected very closely with emergency management, county administration, the Department of Health, and Visit Florida.
Thank you. Commissioner Eggers?
Yeah, just on this third amendment. So obviously the other amendments did different things. As we look forward, and I'm assuming that you might have interest at the end of at the end of 21 of looking at the next period of time. Talk to me about this forecasting and the inability, and I'm not saying yours because it's kind of midstream, but the inability of being able to get our handle on what that is without having to come back with changes after changes. So just a thought on that.
It's a very good question, Commissioner. One that you're right, I don't know if we quite have the answer to as I sit today because the needs evolving and growing so much so rapidly. I will say that when this 5-year contract started, that's a long time in the digital world. I've had some thoughts and ideas already that hopefully, I know we'll have very good conversations with purchasing and be able to talk about how to structure this, that there can be increases potentially throughout the contract without the, kind of hitting the ceiling per se every year. So potentially freeing up an additional $1 million year over year pending performance of digital media because the space continues to grow and that need is ever more, as we move forward.
Yeah, well, that's going to be important, and the metrics on the success of that digital media is super important. So anyway, thank you for your comments on that.
If I may, 2 quick notes on this increase. So one is we are monitoring performance very closely. We can report back on complete ROI, and we will have that. It takes a little bit of time because we use tracking on bookings. And 2 is it is entirely for media, digital media, no fees. So that's an important note.
Thank you.
Very good. Any other questions? I have a motion. Thank you. I need a second.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Long, second from Commissioner Welch. Oops. Okay, that passes 6-1. Item 22.
Item number 22 is a grant from the Public Safety Coordinating Council. It's a recommendation from the Florida Department of Children and Family Services for the 2020 Criminal Justice Mental Health and Substance Abuse Grant. This grant will provide $1.2 million over 36 months. 100% in-kind match is required, which will be provided by the Public Defender and WestCare.
Move approval.
Second. Okay. Any questions? We have a motion from Commissioner Welch, second from Commissioner Seal. That is unanimous. Item 23.
This provides it's a supplemental agreement to the Florida Shared Use Non-Motorized Trail Network Agreement with Florida Department of Transportation to complete the north end of the Pinellas Trail. As you recall, we talked about this in the past. This provides an additional $500,000 for the use in that project.
Move approval, please.
Second.
Yes, Commissioner Eggers.
If somebody could give us an update on this, if you don't mind.
We certainly can. I'll ask. Kelly's on her way up. This is going to come back to you regarding the specifics of that, that northern piece that you asked to make an adjustment, and there's some problems with that. So that is going to come back to you. In this particular agreement, we're not actually moving on that. We're just accepting additional money. But Kelly can give you an update on the actual project.
Yeah,
Thank you.
as Barry, Kelly Levy, Public Works Director, as Barry said, this is just adding an additional $500,000 to our grant for the North Loop. On April 8th, we will be bringing forward the a guaranteed maximum proposal for construction agreement, which will have a lot more detail in it. We had hoped that both of these pieces would come together at the same meeting. It would have made it a lot easier to explain, but unfortunately it didn't. So, what we're looking at here is, you'll see the number in there, and it probably creates a little bit of confusion with regard to the funding, is about 13.339 million total, and that does include design fees that have already been spent. It includes the guaranteed maximum price for construction, as well as our CEI costs, so those construction inspection costs during the construction. It also includes some design and build contract contingency in that contract total price. So while it is higher, it's kind of broken down into a lot of different components. It is fully funded in the penny as well as with the DOT grants. So the funding's all there, and I think we can present a pretty good picture of it on April 8th when we bring back the other piece of this.
And just I know that I have concerns about it. I'm sure that others do too, but this does not include any elevated crossing, I'm assuming, at 580. And just wondering what the status of funding sources for that might be. I know that FDOT has floated a couple of things out there in our MPO meetings, but just wondering how that search is going and the conversations with Duke Energy and their, I guess, receptivity to considering that on their property. Just
Okay, yeah, I can make sure that we have some additional feedback for you on the 8th.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have a motion from Commissioner Long, second from Commissioner Welch. Any other comments? Oh, we're ready then. And that is unanimous. Item 24.
This is a purchase authorization for a TD inspection vehicle to inspect the condition of our pipes for $298,670.
So moved.
Second.
Question?
Yes, Commissioner Justice.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to, we talked about it the other day, just get an idea of the life cycle of one of these vehicles and how many miles of pipe we inspect a year with one of these, just some general info.
Megan's got it.
Hi, yes, thanks for the question. Megan Ross, Utilities Director. So the life cycle of one of these vehicles is really about 5 years, which doesn't sound like a long time. But, it is called a vehicle, but it's really a mobile computer is what it is. So if you think about it like a computer replacement program, which I believe we're all on a 3-year replacement program for computers because softwares and systems get out of date. So we want to make sure we have the most up-to-date because it's really a mobile condition assessment computer that's out there in the field. We have 4 vehicles, so altogether we inspect about 100 miles of gravity pipe every year. And we've recently gone through an effort to really deploy these resources to the most critical areas. So using the condition data that we've already collected, we're able to really deploy this vehicle to the areas that we think really need to be addressed. For example, we've determined that one of the factors that will most likely contribute to a poor condition is the material of construction. So iron pipe, we're really mobilizing out to the iron pipe areas that we know are iron pipe because we know that's most likely to be in a poor condition as opposed to PVC pipe or plastic pipe, which, so we're not inspecting more miles of pipe with this vehicle. We're upgrading our current equipment, and we're also mobilizing to areas that we know are more needed to be inspected, if that makes sense.
Beyond the construction style type, was it also we're inspecting based on the I&I study that we did?
Absolutely. So we're taking in all of that data, the I&I studies and material of construction and other condition data, and working closely with engineering. So our maintenance teams are utilizing the engineering data, and we're deploying our maintenance teams based on that data. Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Akers?
Yeah, just one other
sure.
question. First, the targeting question that Commissioner Justice asked was one of them. And the second one is the utilization rate of these. I mean, when I was, where I was before in Dunedin, we had several cities up to gallon. I know, put that in there, dollar in the cup. But there's 4 cities up there, and the question that I continue to ask on these major expenditures are, can we share those trucks? They actually looked into it, and like most, folks, they like to have their own. Still didn't answer my question about how often they're being used, and is it sitting on sitting there half the time so that we could be, sharing with somebody else. I'm assuming in our case, we don't have that luxury, but just the question of.
Sure. No, we are 100%, utilizing the vehicle every day. I mean, it's people's full-time jobs.
All 4.
To TV and video, the sewer system. Every single day they're out utilizing the trucks. However, you bring up a good point. We're working through the wastewater stormwater partnership on an interlocal agreement for vehicle sharing agreement, rental, if you will, so that if there are smaller cities that don't want to invest the $300,000 in a TV truck because their systems are rather small, and they do want to have, they want to inspect a certain area of their system, that we have the ability to rent or loan these vehicles, and that contract or that agreement is going through a contract review period right now.
Great.
So we are looking at that.
Good to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Welch, second from Commissioner Seal. Any other questions? Okay. Motion carries 6-0. Okay. Item 26.
25?
25? 25, right.
I have reappointments to the Emergency Medical Services Advisory Committee. Sitting as the Emergency Medical Services Authority, approval of the following reappointments. It's a reappointment of Mr. Mike Jones as the Citizens Representative for District 4. Reappointment of Chief Tom Jamison for the Pinellas County Fire Chiefs Association. Chief David Mixum with the Pinellas County Fire Chiefs Association. Mr. John Peterson as the Sunstar Paramedics Representative, and Richard Schromp as the Sunstar Paramedics Alternative Representative.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have motion from Commissioner Eggers, second from Commissioner Welch. And that 6-0. Item. Next item. Sorry, 26.
This resolution approves the issuance of multi-family housing revenue bonds. This particular one is for Creekside Manor, which is 92 senior rental housing units in Clearwater. The total project cost is a little over $19 million. All units will be limited to households with incomes below 80% of the area median income.
Move approval.
Second. Okay, do you have any questions? We have a motion from Commissioner Welch, second from Commissioner Long. Passes 6-0. Item 27.
Item 27 is also issuance of multifamily housing revenue bonds. This is for Clear Bay Terrace. This is a multifamily residential rental housing unit. This is 100 units in Clearwater. A minimum of 40% of the units will be restricted to household incomes below 60% of the area median income. This is a principal amount not to exceed $14 million on a $21 million project.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion from Commissioner Long, second from Commissioner Welch.
Can I make a quick comment?
Yes, you may.
I think she's going to take off. Just want to thank Catherine Driver for,
Yes.
in the consent, we had her annual report from the HFA and a lot of good information in there. So thank you.
And I just want to say also, you're going to be busy next year with all those Sadowski funds being released.
Oh,
Yay.
man, finally.
Okay. That passes 6-0. 27, nope, 28. Do you have anything?
I do not.
Okay, item 29, Mr. Administrator.
2 items. First, I would like to just acknowledge the work that Raheem Harjay has done for Pinellas County over the past many years. You all know him well. As you also know, he's moving to Hillsboro, Oregon. I don't know why, but he is. And he's just brought a tremendous amount of expertise, humor, and a real team and partnership approach to his position. You all have worked with him longer than I, but in the last, 16, 18 months, it's just been a real pleasure to work with him. A true professional, somebody that, his word is his bond, and just a tremendous person to work with. So I want to just wish him the very, very best and thank him for all of his service to Pinellas County. Next, I want an update on the coronavirus. So Dr. Cho and Dr. Jameson and Catherine Perkins is going to come up, but let me just start by saying that as a policy level team, we've activated our Emergency Operations Center. We're at a level 3 enhanced monitoring. As you know, there's 3 confirmed cases in the Tampa Bay area. The governor declared a state of emergency yesterday. Because of that, the Department of Health is the lead agency in Florida, and again, they're still, the current focus is still in containment and mitigation, which is enhanced surveillance, sharing information, all the things that we do with the flu, hand washing, stay at home if you're sick, self-isolate if you've been to a target country. They also added don't go on cruise ships, so I took that to heart because I had one planned this summer. So, but what it really is our emergency management coming together and really thinking about not only what is occurring today, but what's going to occur in the months ahead. So the team is now on weekly coordination calls with the Executive Policy Group. This includes our county and our state partners. Our leadership team, including the the county departments, is looking at our policies and preparing their contingency plans. We held conference calls with our municipal partners yesterday, including Visit St. Pete, Clearwater, to discuss large event gatherings. Where are they coming from? When are those events? And what alternative plans are we prepared to take if, in fact, the situation dictates it? So those contingency plans are actively being developed to where we're prepared. HR, our Human Resources, has set up a web page to share information. The Safety and Emergency Services has expanded the question criteria for flu-related 911 calls, and our EMS has adjusted personal protective gear to ambulance and sanitation practices as needed. I would, and again, there's a whole host of other departments that are taking proactive steps to make sure that we're as safe. We have hand cleaners and things like that throughout our facilities. We've employed additional sanitary cleaning in our facilities. Again, all efforts to try to be as proactive as possible. What I would like to do is ask Dr. Cho to come forward. We also have Dr. Jameson and Catherine Perkins that will join them and give an update from their perspective as our as part of addressing this additional issue.
Before he speaks, Madam Chair, Barry, do you have any input for our citizens with regard to when they might expect the stores to be restocked with hand sanitizer and those types of wipes that folks normally use?
I would defer to them. I mean, our own experiences, we're having trouble obtaining those types of things also.
Yeah.
And so that is something that I think nationwide we're experiencing now.
The price gouging is just unreal.
Correct. So we're doing what we can, but it is absolutely supplier driven. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Welcome. Good afternoon. Obviously, coronavirus is on the forefront on a lot of people's minds. It's all been in the media. And certainly there's a lot of panic and concern. And I think that a lot of that fear stems from, for the most part, that it's novel. It's a lot of the science of it is unknown. It's new. And on top of that, there's a lot of information out there, whether they're correct or incorrect. What I would advise is the CDC and the Department of Health does update the website pretty regularly, so making sure that you have the right resources and the right place to go to get that right information. I'd like to start off with a little bit of background. I'm sure most of you are aware, but in terms of what it is, it was first identified in Wuhan, China in late December. Coronavirus is a big family of viruses that includes 4 of which members constitutes the common cold, but there are other serious members of that family, including SARS and MERS-CoV. So this is just another virus within that family. Now, some of the symptoms includes the things that you would expect in a respiratory virus, the fevers, the cough, the shortness of breath, but there are others that are asymptomatic, those that are showing more mild symptoms. Now, in terms of numbers, we have no confirmed or presumptive positive cases in Pinellas at this time, but it won't be a surprise if we do see one in the future. In terms of the numbers worldwide, over 116,000 have been infected with over 4,000 deaths. In the U.S., that number as of this morning was 761 with 27 deaths. And in Florida, that number has risen over the last week with 14 residents diagnosed, 5 repatriated, meaning they're quarantined in a federal facility, and 1 non-Florida resident that is staying here in Florida, with 2 deaths out of Lee County and Santa Rosa County. The majority, it looks like, have been imported cases, meaning that they came from responsible for due to international travel. And I know there was a report that just came out. There was a cruise ship linked to 3 of the 4 Broward cases as well, and that just came out this afternoon. Now, in terms of the deaths, I don't think there's an exact number as to what the death rate is going to be. I think it's, as we learn more of it, I think we'll have a clear picture as what the death rate is. Some studies have quoted about 2 to 3%, but there's others that have quoted less than 1%. So I think that's yet to be determined. However, what we know, it appears that it affects vulnerable populations, older individuals, those with underlying health conditions, such as heart disease, diabetes, lower lung disease, cancers, and those on immunotherapy. And again, being a novel, there isn't a lot of medical countermeasures. There's not a lot of treatments. Vaccine is in development, but it's probably about a year and a half out, according to Dr. Fauci with the NIH. I'm optimistic more so with getting the antivirals out. So I know there's a lot of studies underway. It's almost like a Tamiflu for coronavirus, and hopefully that will come out sooner than later, and we may be able to, once available, offer that to our more vulnerable population. Now, in terms of the public health response, our main focus is both containment and mitigation efforts. As you're probably aware, the state on March 1st declared a public health emergency. The state EOC was activated at a level 2, and then you saw the governor yesterday declared a state of emergency. From a state level, they've instituted a regular calls with the providers, getting a lot of that guidance out there, working with the health care providers at a state level, nursing homes, among other agencies. They've also initiated a hotline for any questions 24/7 at 866-779-6121. And then locally, we've also instituted a number as well at 727-824-6900. So as Mr. Burton mentioned, this, for the most part, is a respiratory virus, so it's the same precautions, the same message we send every flu season. It's washing your hands, not touching your face, your mouth, your eyes, staying home when you're sick, and certainly if you're sick, not going to those types of events, among other things. There's been a lot of guidance out there. Most recently has been the international travel and cruises, advising that for those with a travel advisory level 3, those are countries include China, Italy, Iran, and South Korea, that they self-isolate, and if they develop symptoms, to notify the health department. And they also included travel level 2 advisories and cruises, those Japan and those that went on cruises, to self-monitor, and again, if they develop symptoms, to report those to the health department. Obviously, I think the focus, and given some of the stuff that we know with the studies, our focus does need to be on the vulnerable population, our older population, as well as those with the chronic health conditions. And to that end, we've worked with a number of organizations, nursing homes, ALFs, the Area Agency on Aging, trying to get that information out there. From a nursing home perspective, I think the key point is if you're sick, you cannot go to a nursing home. If you're having fevers, if you're having respiratory illnesses or symptoms, if you traveled, especially in those impacted areas over the last 14 days, and if there's any concern for COVID, that you should not, or any respiratory virus for that matter, because ultimately you're exposing a population that are more vulnerable and more at risk for developing severe symptoms. So I would just want to get that message across. In terms of community planning, we're fortunate to have a robust partnership here. I think when dealing with any public health response, a huge epidemic, an outbreak, I think it comes down to community partnerships, as Mr. Burton mentioned. We're fortunate to have some great partners here, Kathy Perkins with EM and Dr. Jameson with EMS, along with the county management, the schools, among sheriffs, among many other organizations here. And as Barry mentioned, we did send up the executive policy group to make some of those tougher decisions if the numbers were to grow here. We've had regular calls with county at a county level for healthcare and first responders. Internally at the Department of Health in Pinellas, we stood up an incident management team since the end of January, just seeing those numbers in China at the time. We did have some concerns there. To that end, we've also enhanced surveillance, looking for those types of symptoms. And again, the guidance is ever changing, so making sure we're on top of it, distributing it to the partners that need those types of guidances. We're monitoring those that travel from the impacted countries, those that were in an airplane or a cruise ship with a confirmed COVID case, so making sure that we call them on a daily basis and really keeping a close eye on those that are at highest risk for developing those types of symptoms. We have worked with the healthcare community in terms of testing. Right now, the state labs increased the capacity about 2 weeks ago now to have that capability within our state labs located in Jacksonville, Tampa, and Miami. And usually turnaround time is about 48 days. Now, in terms of some of the testing, we prioritized some of those individuals at higher risks. And then what's good and what's happened recently is that LabCorp and Quest, both private labs, have also gained the capability of doing those tests. So seeing how we can interface with those private organizations to increase and expand the testing capabilities. And I know at a state level, they're working with other labs that are certified to have that function as well. So with that, again, it goes back from a personal standpoint to that personal messaging, just making sure that you wash your hands, especially during this flu season. And of note, I know the coronavirus and the flu isn't necessarily the same virus, but we did have a pretty intense flu season this year too, second worst probably in the last 5 years, with about 18,000 deaths nationally from the flu to date this season. And then from an organizational standpoint, just continuing that communication chain with the various organizations, encourage them to look and review their continuity of operation plans, and then looking at other ways to conduct and implement mitigation strategies and social distancing. So with that, I'll stop there.
Questions so far? Probably got a million. Commissioner Eggers.
Well, first of all, thank you. I think, we've started to get a lot of people asking questions about, what is the county doing, and clearly we're plugged into what the national efforts are and what our state efforts are. So, I mean, I think we're not going off on our own here. We're trying to take that direction and guidance, and then providing some grassroots stuff. But what really concerns me, I think, is the nursing homes and the most vulnerable, which is where we're finding, I think up in Washington, some of the issues there. Whatever, and I'm not trying to draw any analogies to ours, but I think what concerns me is that, I know we've had problems in the last summers during our storms requiring these places to have air conditioning units, for example. Right. And so it always makes it sounds like that's a really important area. So whatever we can do to partner, to have a list of those organizations that are out there, to be in touch with them on a daily. I know they should be reaching out and getting information as well, but I don't think we can overdo it. I think we need to be really dramatic about that, because that seems to be the area that is not only maybe susceptible for people that want to go visit their loved ones. And you made the comment that, gosh, we want to do that, but if you're a little sick, maybe right now is not the time, and that's hard to do. Right. So, to me, that's really an important thing. And the other thing is that you did a really great job, or somebody did. I think you were really a part of it, developing this notification system. A simple thing about this is about suicide assistance. It's not what I'm talking about, but developing something that people can take with them. That is, again, this is a messy type of thing, and it's not so simple, but there are some things that you said today. So are we developing that kind of information flyer that people can actually take with them and use with them, have it in the car and refer to, pass it along to people. So I think that's going to be really important. And the other thing is, the last thing I'll make a comment on is, since this has all happened, I now realize how many times a minute that I touch my face with my hands. It's the most, I've never realized it. Now I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I just scratched my arm, I did this, and you don't even realize it. So if anything else, maybe that'll help us with other flus down the road going through this. But just some comments on the, if you don't mind. So
No,
nursing home, and then kind of an information thing, you know.
Okay, so I completely understand your concern with close to 25% of our population over 65, which that's the cutoff that the CDC mentions as one of the vulnerable population. I think that's important, especially in the nursing homes. So anything that can help push out that message even further, making sure that they have some of their plans in place, and making sure that they adhere to the guidance that they have. So I think that's important. Certainly the big thing that is my concern is that visitation piece of it, making sure that they don't show up to the nursing home if they're showing symptoms of any kind. Now in terms of the infographics, the Department of Health did produce a number of toolkits and infographics, so we'll make sure that that's out there. But I know we're in the process of developing more as this progresses and things change. So I think that's a great idea. And then,
that was really it.
Okay.
The other comment was really about the, touching our face.
Yeah, I just saw a study that actually showed that even up to 1,000 times a day you touch your face, so hundreds of thousands.
I didn't even realize it. Yeah, thank you.
Commissioner Welch.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll start, pick up on that question. Our communication staff does a great job with PSAs and kind of social media. And I know the CDC has a website, which is kind of static. Is anybody doing social media, something we can get out to folks, either at the state level or?
Yeah, I think so. For the most part, I think the communication teams have got together. They've produced sort of a jig to get that messaging out. And you're absolutely right. I think the information has to be multimodal. People don't digest or get information from a single source. So if we can use the different ways to get that message out, I think I completely agree.
I guess part of it is so tough is just people are social beings, and you want to shake and hug. And even after this morning, I was with the mayor and actually said, we can't hug, and she hugged me. So it's just that social aspect of it. And in church on Sunday, actually I went to 2 churches Sunday to talk about the census, and both those pastors did a great job of saying we're not going to shake hands, we're not going to hug, and they're getting the message. So anything we can do to get that message out. You mentioned a phone number, 824-6900. What's that number for? Was that general information or?
No, so if there's any questions, if our residents do have those concerns, they're showing some symptoms, they want to know how to get a test, whether they qualify for a test. So
we can share that number?
Yes, sir. We have that as an infographic.
824-6900?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And speaking of kits, what's the forecast for getting test kits, a reasonable number of test kits circulated?
So at the federal level, you probably saw that on the reports, is that they are pushing more of the kits this week. So we hopefully should have a little bit more capability there. But again, I think it goes back to the partnerships with other labs that can also perform the test, and leveraging some of the private providers with LabCorp and Quest.
Okay. Last comment, I just appreciate your calm, steady leadership to you and your colleagues, and to Barry and his. I mean, that's what folks need right now. They just need the facts, and they need it communicated well. Is the school board a part of your group, and
Yes.
have they talked about any contingency plans for schools?
So Dr. Grego is part of our executive policy group, so they have been in the conversations, as well as higher education. The CDC as well as the DOH put some guidance as it pertains to what we can take, some steps that we can take at the schools.
That includes the schools and also the sheriff. So the sheriff's participating in that. They're taking contingency plans, have an isolation area in the jail, looking at safe harbor, all those various things with all of our partner agencies. Yesterday, we had all the city managers on a call talking about today, tomorrow, and things that we need to be prepared for.
I think some way that we could get like a bullet pointed little summary of what you're all these different things that you're talking about. When somebody calls and says, what's the county doing?
Our office has it then, and or
We can
have
just
it.
send it out.
Barbara's like over there saying, yes, I've got it.
Okay, great. I knew she
has
would.
been.
And they, just so you know, they've been supporting the Department of Health, PIO, but they have a partner network within communications, and so they've been on weekly conference calls for the regional PIO network and disseminating information and working those channels also.
Thank you. Commissioner Peters.
I think you're doing a great job, and thank you. And what I appreciate is that we're taking this as a worst-case scenario kind of thing, which we always should. Whether it's a hurricane or something like this, we always should. But based on the Visit Florida conversation, and I decided to text some of my hoteliers. And they're pretty much getting panicked, which isn't what was relayed. They're already at 7% down of the booked rooms that have canceled, and 50% of their income comes in before April. And so even if we do a staycation thing in the summertime, it doesn't help them recover from what their losses are going to be. So I don't want to sound insensitive, and I know we need to prepare as though it's a worst-case scenario. But I guess the question to you is it the biggest fear from the cruise ships and the planes coming in, or would it be wise for us to move up the staycation advertisements to try and get local people in Florida to come, or should we just leave the businesses hanging and do nothing?
Let me try to answer that because Steve's in the audience on that side. So if you notice the information we put out, we did not put out worst case scenario. We said we're monitoring and taking appropriate actions and preparing contingency plans. So for instance, down in St. Pete, big event this weekend, right? We're not saying, that people should stay home. In fact, that event is going on with all indications, right? So some of those are going to be having those types of discussions. Now, we're also looking at events and saying, is that event, is most attendees local, statewide, or does it have international travel? And so they're looking at those details to try to make informed decision, because it's not a time to panic. And I would defer to Kathy on some of that, but we're trying to take and get the data and the facts together to where we can make appropriate decisions. We do not have an active case in Pinellas County, and it's a confirmed case. And so, that's something to consider. And so we're trying to create the appropriate messaging at the appropriate time.
Okay, I heard what you said, but I don't think you answered the question. And so I have some people that are really nervous saying, should we be taking steps to promote that Pinellas County is healthy, or should we not? And I don't want to sound insensitive, and I certainly don't want a huge problem here.
Right.
But I've got somebody that now is asking a question, and I
Steve.
I understand that we're doing the minimal, but that event doesn't help everybody that's on Gulf Boulevard.
I understand that. I asked Steve to come up, but I mean, Dr. Cho can certainly answer that from his perspective.
And I'm
But
curious about his perspective.
We're also in contact with hoteliers also.
So some of that you're discussing obviously needs to be at the local discretion. That's why I'm very pleased that we stood up the executive policy group right away to make those types of tough decisions. And you're right, it's a hard line, right? Are we the level of concern? Is it overreaction? Is it appropriate reaction? So really finding that line, and I think it's really up to that group to sort of really come up with some of those triggers as to that. But again, going back to some of the CDC guidance, as it pertains to the cruises and the airlines, especially those that are older and then those in the vulnerable population, they do recommend, if at all possible, to refrain from some of those activities.
Steve, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. And commissioners as a whole, what we're doing is we're in communication with a variety of hotels across the county, whether it be in St. Pete Beach, Clearwater Beach, Midtown, Inland, all different types. And we're asking questions related to their meetings and conferences, because that's right now what you're seeing nationally. About people deciding, I don't want to put my organization, my companies at risk, and so therefore we are going to either postpone our conference or meeting, or we are going to cancel that. And so you have hotels that are experiencing that here in Pinellas County, just on a smaller scale compared to what you have in the larger cities. The other element to that is the leisure traveler, someone looking at coming on vacation. And I'll use a great example is My wife and I have a niece, Grand Rapids, Michigan. She's tired of the cold, wants to come down, and basically she's holding off until she figures out is it safe in her mind to travel. So mentally, folks are sitting there saying, gosh, should I travel, should I not travel? Some people are saying, to the heck with it, I'm going, I've paid for it, I'm going to go enjoy myself. Other ones are holding off and they're waiting to book. We did talk to one hotel group on Monday after the weekend that got a series of reservations in going forward that they didn't expect. So they're expecting cancellations, but they got reservations. So it's a mixed bag, but from a messaging standpoint, we're not changing anything we're doing at this given time. We still have advertising out there. We are still in all of our core markets. And I might even add, even internationally, the international market still remains strong. It's the forward bookings that are a little slow right now, where they're being cautious. And when I say forward, looking for the next 2, 3, 4 months. So we're looking at things in different phases, and then how do we react appropriately in each one of those.
So my question was, would it be appropriate if air travel and cruise travel is not recommended, like it is currently not recommended, should we be executing the staycation concept earlier so that they don't have the loss that they're right now incurring and potentially can incur further on? So the question is, yes, in Michigan, she's thinking, is it safe to fly? I'm talking about, is it time to pull a trigger and move up our summer marketing and do it now so that they can make up some of that loss? Because someone might be okay to get in a car and come here and not get on a plane and come here. And so my question is it responsible, first off, from a health point of view to do that? And is it responsible on an economic development point of view to do that? And that was my question. I understand you're still doing all your things. My question is, do we change what we're doing and do something to help those people that are losing a ton of rooms, whether it's conference or not? Do we do something staycation-wise like we did when we had the oil spill that really helped save a lot of our revenues in our businesses? So my question was that, not, I understand what you're doing. I got all that. I heard all that. The question is, based on what I was just told from the hoteliers I just texted, they aren't conference, they're more leisure, but they're not getting the booking that they expected for the future, and they've already had a 7 or 9% loss of cancellations, not that they didn't book, but they did book and they canceled. So if that's the trend, and if we get one case in a nursing home here in Pinellas County, how is that going to impact them again? So is it responsible to change our market plan and move on staycations to kind of protect them from the losses they're about to receive?
That's what we talked, that's what our call was today with all of our agencies of how do we move that up, what strategies are we going to do from our messaging standpoint, and they're getting back to us on how we can go through and do that. So that's on the forefront. In the meantime, we still keep the other part, but how do we move forward from that aspect?
Okay, thank you.
I do have a marketing meeting next week, so if any of them are interested, please have them come to it. Yes, Commissioner Long.
Yes, well, I just wanted to say a little bit in response to the question Commissioner Peters is trying to get answered. I'm not sure that I would favor trying to move up and encourage people to come right now. I think people have to use a lot of good common sense and caution in their own lives, because while we're hearing what's going on today, we all know it can change tomorrow or the next day. And so I think, we have to be guided by what the experts are telling us is the appropriate thing to do, my opinion.
Okay. Do you guys have anything to say? He's doing a great job.
Yeah, just in emergency management, the partnership is really key. Marketing and communications, as was mentioned, is leading regional PIO calls. We've stood up a a press release and talking points board, so all of our regional partners, all of our municipalities, we can have the same information that we're working from as we're communicating with the public. We're also standing up an absence tracking board, so we're trying to get a better feel for what's happening, not only within Pinellas County government, but with our partners in terms of how many absences we're seeing. We've stood up an event board to help get information from our partners in terms of actions that they're taking, and we're putting together weekly situation reports. We're on state calls 2 times a week. We have a regional state call with our local communities and counties that we get on, so we can coordinate and hear what other folks are doing. We're certainly looking to best practices from, unfortunately, some of the other areas in the country that have been impacted, and the constant communication with our partners as well. Human Services is working in tandem with us and reaching out to our vulnerable populations. There was actually a homeless assistance partner webinar today, and there's been reaching out to our partners for the homeless population. We even reached out to Meals on Wheels to find out what are the contingencies, heaven forbid, if some of their drivers can't start to come in. We do maintain a database of nursing homes and assisted living facilities and emergency management. We don't review their health plans, we review their emergency management plans, but we maintain contact with them, and there was a conference call last week with the Florida Healthcare Association to all the nursing homes, and we certainly open up the line and we can share additional information with them as well. So, we are trying to reach forward and think about all these populations, because this is going to be a marathon. If we look to what's happened in China, they started in January and now we're into March, and we're starting to hear that maybe things are getting better over there. This could be a 3-month span. We just don't know. So we have to kind of think long-term and how we're going to be strategic.
And just to that point, thank you. I'm glad you said that at the end. But Dr. Cho, you mentioned the multimodal delivery of information. I don't think we can overdo it. If the state's doing it and they're on conference calls, some of these nursing homes weren't on those conference calls. And whenever we're doing, I think we can probably do even more just to make sure that they're getting the message and they're getting the message that they should have already gotten on their own. But and then the other, that's such a great point about visiting those nursing homes. That is such a big part of our human psyche to go to folks and to take, to be with them and to, but if you're not feeling good, it's really critically important that you do that self-check and not do it. So anyway, that's just common sense, but this is kind of elevating that to making us think probably the way we should be thinking all the time. With all the flus that you were talking about earlier that we've got, we probably passed that along the wrong way too. So, but thank you. Appreciate the comments.
Thank you. I appreciate all the partnership I'm hearing about. That's amazing to me.
For the background there.
So over at EMS, I'm in multiple times a day, daily communication with Dr. Cho, and we're really coordinating this very, very well along with all of our other partners. At EMS, our primary focus right now is making sure that our responders are safe, other healthcare workers are safe, and that the public is safe. We are operating as normal. We are taking appropriate precautions and following all guidance in terms of infection control procedures. We have, as was mentioned previously, ramped up screening at the 911 center, as well as what our crews are doing when they arrive at the patient side. And the number one thing I'd like to make sure gets out is if you see an EMS crew wearing a mask, wearing goggles, wearing a gown, please don't be surprised. That's the same thing that would happen if you were a patient in my emergency room. This is us taking appropriate standard precautions and making sure that we're keeping everybody safe. So just because you see a crew wearing protective equipment does not mean that there's a COVID case there. It means that we're taking the right precautions to keep everybody safe.
That's good to know. So one last question.
Yes, sir.
If I go home tonight and come down with a fever and I'm feeling like I have the flu, what's the first thing I should do?
So if you
my husband
truly have
someplace else,
COVID
right?
concerns, certainly
train
please call our number. We can do that assessment. Obviously, there's other things and other factors that may put you at increased risk, so we'll have to do that. But it's also working in coordination with your primary care physician as well.
So basically, call my doctor.
Yes.
And
the health department.
One
Yes.
question. Somebody said to me that they heard this on a national thing, so I have no idea. When you cough into your, we're trying to cough this way. Whatever you have, does it stay on your shirt? So when we're elbowing each other, are we passing along? This is what they were talking about. Don't elbow people because that's where we're coughing into. So that was the comment that was made. So just asking a question: can it stay live on your shirt?
I don't have a good answer.
Okay,
I'm sure there's a possibility of live organisms on your jacket for a little bit, but I think what you're trying to do
You do
with
the
this,
other elbow. Yeah, that's good.
What you're doing with this motion is just making sure that it's not out there in the air, because that's how it spreads.
I thought it didn't spread in the air. I thought
Well,
it
it's
spread
droplets.
surface to surface.
So droplets, that's why if you're sick too and if you're coughing, the recommendation is to stay 6 feet away.
Thank you.
Well, actually, Commissioner Eggers, that was on the Daily Show, so I'm impressed. Yeah, that was on the Daily Show, yeah.
That's
so.
probably where it comes. It wasn't for me watching it, but I must have heard about it through the...
But a serious question I had that I actually heard on another show, which was Morning Joe, was about, our emergency rooms and how they prepare so that a sick person walking in potentially has that, doesn't spread it to the responders in the emergency rooms. Are we prepared for that?
You probably
Dr.
did a better job
Jameson
there.
is-
But they so I'll defer to our ER doctor here, but basically they do have infection control a policy put in place to do that screening on the front end, and if they are at high risk for doing the testing, then making sure that there is a pathway to get to an isolation room of some kind. I think a majority of hospitals hopefully should have put that in place already. And I don't know if there's anything else you want to
Sure, I wouldn't speak officially for my hospital, but yeah, if a patient presents to the emergency room and they have influenza-like illness, standard procedure anytime is that they get asked to put on a surgical mask while they're in the waiting room, and then the patient gets put into a pathway where they would be placed under appropriate isolation level until we can sort it out.
Okay. And just last question, do we know how many nursing homes we have in the county?
I'll get that number for you. I don't have
Okay.
it off the top of my head.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, great
Thank you.
team.
That concludes my report.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have an appointment to the Greater Seminole Area Recreation District. And I have a ballot here for you. Put your name on it. And choose one. Okay. Anybody have new business item?
I have a quick one, Madam Chair.
Go for it.
So I did want to, again, thank all of the partners on the Pinellas Complete Count Committee, and I want to thank all the co-chairs and thank our team, Corey and Josh, who just done a tremendous job. The invitations are going out Thursday, so folks will start receiving in the mail an invitation to participate in the U.S. Census. We have libraries and community centers all around the county. If you don't have digital access, you can use those computers to respond to the census. It's the first time the census will be online primarily. If you don't wish to respond online, you still can mail in a paper census questionnaire or respond via phone. If you don't do any of those methods, then around May, census takers will be walking neighborhoods and you'll have a fourth opportunity. So we just want to make sure Pinellas County counts. It's $44 billion to the state of Florida based on the census, and that's everything from healthcare to transportation to education. And so we just want to make sure everybody's ready to respond to the census this week. Thank you.
Just real quickly, I was at Pinellas County Behavioral Health Systems meeting yesterday, and among the many, many things they talked about, they gave an update on the zero suicide efforts that are going on. And I showed this a little earlier, but talking about the learning, the early warning signs of suicide. It really is a probably oversimplistic way of looking at what suicide victims, it says what they do, and then there's about 8 or 9 things that they list here. what they say, there's about 4 things, and what they show, there's about 7 things to look at. So for folks that are, have family members who may be having some kind of depression or down, or they lost a job, or some things that might be creating some anxiety, depression, irritability, just things, changes in mood, just these are early warning signs, and just try not to ignore them, but try to pay attention to them and pay attention to your loved ones or friends who might be exhibiting this. And 1-800-273-8255, and that's the number to call if there's anybody who has any kind of issues, personal, or if you know of somebody that's having struggling. You can also dial 911, but calling 1-800-273-8255 is a national hotline number, and it immediately comes back here to a local. Oftentimes it goes to 211 operator, so they know the area, they know what's going on, they know resources that might be available. But if you want, you can get online to the Zero Suicide Partners of Pinellas and get this thing made up. It's a pretty neat thing, just as an overall guide to help you get them some real help. So anyway, just wanted to bring that again to people's attention. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Justice.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And
you can have it. You can have it.
We've talked about this before, and I know the county attorney's office has looked at it to some degree, and you brought something back, I apologize, I don't remember, but we had talked about you all, and I think it was your office, that was going to look at every board and committee that we appoint to and are appointed to, and kind of break those down by different requirements and things. And the question is, the ones that we appoint people to, understanding what kind of onboarding they have for getting on that committee, and do they understand which ones are sunshine and which ones aren't sunshine, which ones have those kind of requirements, and all the basic government 101 operations of a board like that. And so I just wanted to bring that up again, because I couldn't remember where we last left it.
We've been taking a look at those committees and kind of in wholesale, because of course you all appoint one another to different committees, you appoint citizens to committees. The 101, are you talking about for your citizen appointments too? Okay. And in all candor, I don't know that that's actually being done. I know that for those committees that we host within the county, and I'll say it's not necessarily a citizen, well, actually, no, it is. For instance, for your LPA members. I know that we get them that information because my office represents that board. I cannot tell you what's happening with the other boards, but it's certainly something that we can look into and follow up with the various, whether it's the executive director or maybe a general counsel that they have, because I cannot tell you what's going on those other committees. But it is important because quite frequently they are sunshine boards. One thing, for instance, that we do relay to your Board of Adjustment members and your LPA members is that they are subject to financial disclosure. And there are certain things that go along with that. And most of the boards all of the boards that you appoint to that have any sort of land planning obligation or responsibility, they're going to be subject to that. So we had really been looking at it more in regard to you all sitting up here, but we can certainly take a look at what's going on with the citizens and what kind of information is getting to them. And if it's the desire of the board, we could develop like a fact sheet or like a one-pager that could go to them.
I would think a one-page of least common denominator of all the different boards of, your board may be subject to sunshine. Your board membership may require to look at ethics guidelines. Your board, just a basic thing, not necessarily a wholesale every bit of law and rule that they're going to live under, but here's 4 questions you might want to ask before you take your first vote at that board meeting, before you get yourself in trouble.
Sure. And I think quite frequently it's important to be educated enough to know to ask the question.
Exactly.
And I guess I often wonder how we got in the position of appointing people to some of those boards to begin with.
There are in some particular that some of you have asked me about that we're taking a look at, because I really question why some of the boards we have any role in whatsoever. Right. And just because we've always done it doesn't mean we need to continue.
Right. For sure.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so happy that Commissioner Justice brought this subject matter up, and I think it might be wise for every one of us who sit on boards that have appointees that are made by, for example, the governor, for example, to just ask the question when they are coming onto the board, are those agencies or councils or whatever it is that you're sitting on, are they doing some level of ethics training or sunshine laws and stuff like that? Because I've served on a couple of boards where I have to believe that that is not being done just by virtue of what is sometimes said on the dais. And I think it has the potential to be a real mess, especially for those that are elected, that are working with these people, that get caught in positions that are really uncomfortable.
And I do think it's important for your citizen appointments because you all are required to go to ethics training every year. But for many of your citizen appointments, they would have no basis for necessarily knowing that some of these laws apply.
There you go. That's a good point right there. Okay. Anybody else? I just had one thing. I wanted to sincerely thank the Florida legislature for using their wisdom to not raid the Sadowski funds again and to actually allocate them for what they were collected for affordable housing. I think it's going to be huge for us.
Awesome.
I hope that continues.
Well, at the risk of being a pessimist, I just want to say they haven't adjourned yet.
Yeah, they haven't. I was thinking the same thing.
They've been there.
They haven't adjourned yet, and they're talking
I'm
about
thinking
extending for a
positively.
week. But I
They're-
appreciate your thoughtfulness.
They're about to do a major budget shift here in the next 24 hours, so anything's possible.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, I'll take it back. But
Well, hope springs eternal.
yes. All right. We are adjourned till 6 o'clock.
To fulfill the full balance of a four-year term that is set to expire on October 31st of 2022. I have 1 vote for Paul Wagner and 6 votes for Richard Mazzy.
Okay. I guess. Thank you. Richard Mazzy's the guy. Thank you. We are